It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. I'm joined this week by Dave, Dargan, and Keith. Lads, we've got loads of questions. So as ever, we will get straight into it. The hot topic this week is based on Sean Dyche's quite unpopular opinions that he watched the game 70 odd times and he still didn't think substitutions were a problem against Bournemouth. So what is your most unpopular opinion? Some monsters have been outed in this, by the way. Keith, I'll come to you first because I know one of yours already.
Is this the Mayo chat, is it?
It's the Mayonnaise chat, yeah.
I don't think it's an unpopular opinion. I think it's fact. It is an absolutely pointless condiment. It offers nothing to anything.
So Liam agrees with this. He said mayonnaise is shite, not having it one bit. So you don't like tomato sauce either?
No, child's condiment. I'm not a 10-year-old boy who wants
so
vegetables.
I'm guessing prawn cocktails are off the menu at yours.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Much better ways to eat prawns.
Yes.
I've literally just got back from a long weekend in northern Spain, and let me tell you, those boys know what to do with prawns.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Got to say,
they are. They're not putting them in a sauce made of ketchup and mayonnaise and serving them cold. Grow up
with some iceberg lettuce.
Yeah,
in a cocktail glass.
This is fancy. This is the height of civilization, isn't it? Nah.
You made that sound really sexy, you know.
Ridiculous.
Those boys know what to do with prawns.
Those boys.
So for you,
they know the way around seafood.
So have you got any other?
I mean, to be fair, probably most of mine on Postmatch turn out to be unpopular. But then, as always, I'm proven right in the long run. So
this is true.
You know, Yannick Bolasie. I was on to him a long time before he arrived at Everton. And everyone, oh no, he's class, lad. He's class. He's dead quick. He does tricks and that. He had one trick. It was punt the ball 20 yards and sprint past the fullback. He had 4 good games a season against us and the Shite, and they were immediately cancelled out as soon as he signed for us.
That's true. That was one thing I wanted to see from him. I wanted to see him put it like one of their players on their arse, and it just never happened, did it?
No, because he was playing for Everton in a derby.
Just on that then, has anyone ever had the unpopular opinion and been proven right quite as much as Cy Curry with Roberto Martinez? For anyone who doesn't know, Cy Curry's he's a curmudgeon on Twitter, I'd say, isn't he? He's not the most cheerful fella. But he called Roberto Martinez out from day one, basically. Yeah. When everyone was enjoying that first season, he wasn't enjoying it because he hated Martinez that much and was saying he's rubbish.
And everyone was very condescending towards him, me included.
Yeah.
I will hold my hands up on that. I was, look, where are you now? And then...
Unfortunately, he was bang on.
Of course, I got the last laugh.
Dave, unpopular opinions, you chocker with them, aren't you, usually?
Yeah, and I usually have a lot, but I'm going to go back to this one from a while ago, mainly because it does people, particularly Blue Room listeners, close to our general friends that we have who come to the Denby after every game, and it is that you can put Salah Cream on pretty much anything, and it's absolutely delightful. And I'm really pleased that Keith come out with the his reference to mayo, because I remember when I was a kid, my mum always used to say, have mayo or have Salah Cream, because they're pretty much the same sort of thing, when they're absolutely not. They have nothing to do with each other. Mayo is a waste of time. I completely agree with what Keith said about mayo. Salah Cream is delightful. It's delightful to go with anything, absolutely anything. I tell me something it doesn't go with.
Anything.
I think it doesn't go with anything.
Would you anything that's worse than mayonnaise?
Would you have Salah Cream?
It's worse than mayo.
Yeah, if anything.
So.
Do you know what? Someone told me you can't have it with fish and chips, and they like that tartar stuff. I mean, what's that? What's tartar?
Meal with lumps in it.
Someone's just jizzed and rubbed it in with a bit of vinegar or something. It's vile. That's vile.
3 minutes in, Dave. 3 minutes in.
Sorry, I do apologise. It is a Friday night though. But yeah,
fair enough.
Salah Cream, and only the Heinz version, by the way, because you can get the snide ones as well. But Salah Cream is delightful. I can dip all sorts in Salah Cream. I can have it on top of it. I love mixing it as well. I have it with, like tin spaghetti, for instance. You can put Salah Cream in there. Give it a good mix. You can have it with beans as well. If you go to KFC, I put it all over the different sauces you get with that as well.
What is wrong with you?
Bit of gravy. I'm not joking here.
Dave, okay. Ultimate test here. Would you have Salah Cream on a George Gerrys kebab?
That's a good question. Do you know what threatens me there? What makes me frown upon that is the fact that tahini from there it's unacceptable to put anything with that. That's the only thing I'd say. But I like it with tomato sauce as well. Just to go back to Keith's point on tomato sauce, have you seen what they've brought out now? And I got this the other day, and it's delightful. Tomato sauce and bacon. They put a version of tomato sauce out with various little flavours with it. And I got one. It was ridiculously priced. It was about $5 for it, mini tub of it. And it is stunning. Absolute game changer for your bacon sandwich. Tomato sauce with bacon in it. It's really, really nice. Really nice. So I was shocked by that. And added a few quid to our weekly food chase.
I can't believe I've agreed to come on here today.
Well, just before we go to Paul, Stephen, and I think you might agree with him here, Dave, said gravy shite.
Yeah, I can. Do you know the only gravy I can have is like a more watered down type that has got onions all over it. That's the only gravy that I'm willing to get with. But generally, yeah, it is crap.
I think Dave's unpopular opinion as well is
it just makes it like shit Marmite or something. I don't. What? Give me the purpose of gravy. It's meant to make everything like
roast dinners.
Yeah, but it makes you feel like really like just I don't know. It's like it just feels like dark and it makes it look like shite. Keith's ready to go.
Give us an unpopular opinion.
I'm getting off.
Are you there or have you frozen? You haven't frozen, I saw you blink.
Do you know what? When he first came on there, everyone who's watching this rather than listening, he looked like Kate Winslet on Titanic. Make me like you. What's the thing they say? Make me like one of your French girls. He was just sat that with his pose, just looking up, just really silent like that. It was absolutely brilliant.
Paul, what's your unpopular opinion?
Dave Downey.
We can't hear you, mate.
But that's about it.
I think this show is the most funny. People just go off on one.
You can't hear me? Why can't you hear me?
Oh, there you go. You're back now. Go ahead. Go again.
That's weird. So I've just said loads of stuff and you didn't even hear me. All right. So, yeah, I agree. I don't like gravy. I don't mind mayonnaise because it takes less time than to put butter on something. I don't like tomato sauce.
See, I don't like butter.
You don't like butter?
No.
Fair enough. I mean, I have the driest roast dinner on earth because I don't really eat like vegetables either. So it's
just meat and potatoes.
But basically,
tell you what, people who put tomato sauce on a roast dinner, they need sculling then. That's just weird.
Yeah. Who does that?
Oh, I've seen it. It's not right.
Latchkey kids.
It's got to be on it.
Last week's roast dinner as well. There was one I did want to add to the mix there. It was, your standard breakfast that you'd have, sausages, bacon, bit of black pudding, whatever.
Mm.
Everyone will choose like one of each, either tomato sauce or, tomato. Whatever. Yeah,
correct answer.
Mix brown sauce with tomato sauce and whatever you've got with beans and all that. Oh, it's outstanding, mate. I've had one time.
At this point, Keith just looks like in a murderous rage. He's like he doesn't even look angry, but like he could murder someone at the minute.
I'm sending the authorities to Dave's house as we speak.
This might this might take it over the edge here, but I've been known to put it in a blender and just put it on a plate, spoon. Lovely.
What a full brekkie.
Yeah. You've done that before.
What the? What is going on?
Put everything in the blender.
Somebody bring the real Dave back, please.
I don't mean like it's turn it into water. Just put it on for like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds. Comes out nice,
like space food.
Nice thick,
David. It's what
nice thick mix. Nice thick mix, and you got your spoon like you would with porridge. Gorgeous.
Quick, we need to move on, but quickly before we do, an unpopular opinion of mine about full brekkies is potatoes have no place on them at all.
What?
Hash brown.
Why would potatoes?
Same thing. Hash brown's the same thing, surely.
Yeah, but I don't think so on an English brekkie.
I like hash brown on a brekkie. I'll tell you what does belong on a brekkie. And we're going to have a bit of a throwback here. Do you remember the Olympic breakfast at Little Chef?
Yes.
Had them little round fried potato bits.
Yeah.
They belong on every brekkie. Even if you're having fucking cereal, get them in there. Outrageously good.
That's fair enough. They were nice. Right?
Listen, I've not really been to many quiz nights in my time, but this was actually a question at the quiz I went to the other day with my sister. Was do hash browns belong on breakfast or not? And it was like an answer that has been officially done by the whole country kind of thing. And the answer became that it does not belong on a breakfast, and I was outraged about that.
Well,
yeah,
I
also voted 14 years for the Tories and for Brexit, so you cannot be trusted. These monsters walking with us.
Couple of last ones on this before we move on. Tom said he agreed with Benitez over the Dean situation. I thought Dean was a snide rat. Paul Daly will agree with you there. And Gary, I said these Barkley shouts are proper shite.
People saying they want him back.
I'm inclined to agree in both of them now, but
is this the Barkleysman nonsense?
Barkleysman stuff.
Gary, 100% spot on. I will back.
Oh, you mean that Barkley thing? Is this the Barkley's thing that's on social media?
Yeah, but
where's that came from? What's this all about?
I don't know, but we're going to go into some Barkleysman chat.
Oh Christ!
So
can I be old man yells at cloud?
I'm the same, mate.
Yeah, and I'm going, Paul, just to explain what it is.
I'll tell you.
Go on, you do it, Les. Explain what it is.
So basically, Barkley sponsored the Premier League, didn't it? It was the Barclays Premiership from 2004, I think. And then in about 2016, it stopped being the Barclays Premiership. So it's like, or the Barclays Premier League at that point. So it's any players who played between 04 and 16, I think. Right. That's your prime Barclays. Yeah. So a Barkleysman, like Everton did one with Yakubu, I think, didn't he?
That's not true, because it was the Carling Premiership about 2010 or something, wasn't it?
No,
it's all right. It doesn't matter.
Carling before that.
It was also the Barkley Card Premiership for a while.
Yeah, so that was early 2000.
Why haven't we got Barkley Cardsmen?
Exactly.
Absolute shite.
So anyway, Alex has said, flip on its head. Who's your worst Barclays man?
All of them.
What do you mean, like
I still don't know what the question is.
Really?
Basically, he was the shittest player between 04 and 16. Who was just really epitomised crap football between then. Let's say at Everton, who was the worst player between then?
Oh Christ, where do you start?
Simmons, anyone I danced, so I'll stay out of this.
Paul Gerrard when he fell over and broke his knee.
What went
Paul Gerrard when he fell over at Chelsea and broke his knee. Just pick your Paul Gerrard falling over and breaking his knee moment. That's it.
Richard Wright's up there.
It was Richard Wright, wasn't it, at Chelsea? Yeah. Right, okay. Paul Gerrard gets a pass on that. Paul Gerrard was the Di Canio one, wasn't he?
Yes. Yeah, he was.
Well, the pair of them then, both of them in tandem, in the same pair of shorts.
Yeah, do you know what? Right. You know, you have that saying, two keepers wouldn't have saved that. Well, you could have an absolute p-roller down the middle and those two keepers wouldn't save it. They're like the opposite of the saying. Yeah.
The very definition.
Anyone got any other crap players? I was thinking Steve Lomas, but he was well before then. He was always the worst player. And do you remember the 90 minutes Nightmare League, which was like a reverse fantasy football league? So you had to pick the worst team. So red cards were worth loads of points. Yellow cards were own goals. It was the Nightmare League. Yeah. And Steve Lomas always came out on top of that. But that was pre-Barclays.
Yeah, I've got one.
Go ahead.
Dean Holdsworth. Total cunt.
And there's your title.
The reason why he was at Wimbledon for years, wasn't he?
Yeah. Scored against us all the time, didn't he?
Yeah, there you go. There was that, and then he ended up at Bolton as well, I think.
He did,
and he was just absolute yard dog piece of shit that I had no idea. I look sometimes, I think, how did he get spotted there by a scout who thinks he's going to be a professional footballer? And I'd love to know somebody to do a show like this where you think back in the 80s, 70s, whenever, and professional footballers have come about, and I think they've ended up as a professional footballer. There are ones that I see that I think, how's that happened? Who's seen him and thought, we'll have him, and then he's just, climbed up the leagues? How do those things happen?
He was also tapping a supermodel, as I remember.
What? He was what?
He was tapping a supermodel as well, as I remember. Or a glamour model, at least.
Like what? Like Paul Jewell?
I'll say this for him, Dave. He was a 1-in-3 striker throughout his career.
No, that can't be his record, surely.
197 goals in 603 games.
Wow, that's probably better than anyone we've ever had.
Paul, have you got
58 in 169 at Wimbledon, so better than 1-in-3.
Decent.
Wow.
There's your Barclays man right there.
There's me Barclays man right there.
Do you know what he's up to now? He's the technical director at Kidderminster Harriers.
Is he really?
Yeah.
He rose into the top, didn't he?
Didn't see that coming, Dave.
I didn't really, no. You might see him rise up to a Premier League side, a Barclays guy side or something soon, don't you?
Toughies, he'll end up there. Paul,
John
said Barclays man.
What was that?
Who's your worst player between 04 and 16?
I can never hear what you're saying because someone else is always speaking when you're speaking, so I couldn't hear what you said. Sorry. He was going out with Lindsay Dawn McKenzie.
There you go. Yeah.
Who's that?
And David probably. She was a page 3 model, like for the Star.
We're not going to explain.
Going out with Paul Jewell.
No, that was something else entirely. Let's not drag her into that story.
Paul Jewell was going out with Dean Holdsworth. Oh no, Paul.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't matter. I didn't have I couldn't think of a player. I was just happy listening to everyone else. I can't think of one in that time.
That's all right.
2004 was
16. That's all right. We'll move on because we've got another one similar from Ed, who was asked. We've talked Barclays, men, but what's your most iconic Barclays era moment? Something that couldn't possibly happen now, like the Andre Mariner, Kieran Gibbs red card fiasco. So Ellis replied and said Darren Bent's beach ball.
Oh yeah, that was cracker. That
was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, the one that sprung to my mind was Pedro Mendes at Old Trafford. That
goal when he got
the halfway line.
I was thinking about the Roy Carroll one.
Yeah,
that was against Spurs. What did that one? The Roy Carroll where it was over the line.
Yeah.
But when I think of Pedro Mendes, I always think of Ben Thatcher just completely taking him out.
That elbow. He did that as well, didn't he? He literally runs from about 10 yards full pelt and whacks his elbow into his jaw, doesn't he?
And then should have won the ball.
Yeah. He's out before he hits the floor there as well.
He needed surgery on his jaw, didn't he, to put it back in line.
Destroyed. Yeah.
Absolutely grim.
Another
one of
Barclays moment. I'm going for the pizza fight at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
You can't do that now because of woke.
True. You wouldn't get away with that.
This is what they've taken away from us. That was incredible. United and Arsenal through the late 90s, early 90s were just it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was box office
Like
though.
Keenan Vieira was tearing it up as well.
Yeah.
But what would they
I'd
do?
have a look at
The changes? Why? What's that about?
the which.
Why did they have pizza in the changing rooms anyway?
It was before your days of sports science and nutritionists and everything. Get those carbs in before you go out.
Dean Oldworth would be having a decent 14-inch pizza, wouldn't he?
I tell you what, some of Everton's starting 11 currently look like they've had a Domino's meal deal before they run out.
I was going to say Bowyer versus Dyer when they had a scrap on the pitch.
That was a belter.
Great,
that was good.
And they both got sent off.
Hang on.
Yeah.
What, yeah, that's what I was going to say. How has the referee come to the fact both of them should be sent off? For what reason?
Violent conduct.
It's like
rules are rules, Dave.
We're on the same side, though. That can't be something that anybody's contemplated.
Yeah, rules are rules.
I don't think it stipulates that it has to be an opposition player you hit. It can be anyone.
I'd love to see a scrap or two with our side, you know.
Wasn't violent conduct back then, was it? It was ungentlemanly conduct.
Oh, that's just a catch-all, isn't it, for anything?
It's like the police in Scotland who'll do you for breach of the peace. Doesn't matter. Like, that is their... If they can't think of a law that you've broken, breach of the peace, and you're gone, you're in the back of the meat wagon and you're spending a night in Bell Street. Not that I would know what that was like or would have ever experienced that in my life.
Goodness, no.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
No, I don't understand that. You're on the same team, you have a scrap. I don't think that should be there should be anything in terms of sending off or anything like that. Just, you know, a bit of passion, more looking at each other. I'd like to see that at Goodison, me. People showing a bit of passion, kicking foot down.
Two Everton players square up. Who do you want to see squaring up to each other?
Keane against Beto.
Oof.
Like, you know, the loser has to leave.
The irresistible force meets the immovable object there, isn't
it? Yeah. But I'd rather see them fight each other with a game of keep-ups because I don't reckon either of them could reach 10.
They couldn't even do one bounce.
Loser gets red-arsed by the rest of the
team. Again, they come away unscathed, probably, with our team. Paul, what's your controversial Barkley's moment?
You're talking about fights there, remember? But that wasn't 2004 to 16. You're talking about fights. Remember Vesterveld and Jeffers? That was about 98 or 99.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Robillard and McManaman with their own players. Or
that was my first derby, though.
Oh, was it? The other one I was thinking was Fowler bending over in front of Graham Lasso.
Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah,
I think he'd be sent off for that now, wouldn't he?
Yeah, easy.
That was bad, that,
yeah. Another one I thought of just before we move on. Do you remember that goal when Watford were playing Red? It's not Barkley's because it was the Coca-Cola Championship, but where the linesman flagged to give a goal and it hadn't gone in. Basically, a player had hit it across the box. The linesman had gone in. Said to the referee it was a goal. No one celebrated it, and everyone just thought it had gone off for a goal kick. And yeah, the referee gave it, and the goal stood. Do you know who the referee was for that game?
Great. Paul?
No.
Go on.
It was a 25-year-old Stuart Atwell.
No way.
Oh my God.
You're rubbish, Atwell.
Exactly, the league's youngest at the time. Laura has asked, have you ever had to have medical treatment? The medical team come and help you at Goodison. She did at Bournemouth the other week, and it was mortifying.
Wow.
Got a good answer from Neil, who said, yeah, he was 7 or 8 years old, sitting on one of the crush barriers in the street end, and one of Sheedy's free kicks grazed off the crossbar and smacked him in the face and KO'd him. Ended up down the tunnel in the physio's room on a St. John stretcher. Decent.
Oh. I've never had the treatments, but I've fallen down the stairs once. I know. It's laughable now.
What stand?
Where I am in the main stand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So obviously it's a dangerous seat I have now, given the epilepsy thing. But I haven't had a seizure for over a year now, just over a year. So I feel more comfortable going back to where to sit. But I'm at the mine's like you know the way the seats come up, but your seats can carry on across the top of where you come up the steps.
Yeah,
you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So you've got the ledge in front of you, the other sides where the steps are, and I remember going down that once, and some old fella let him out. I sit by a lot of old people, so I stand because my seat's at the end to get into the steps. I just stand out to one side, and this old fella's sort of trying to get down, and he shouldn't be in that seat, to be honest with you, because he can't walk too well. Do you know what I mean? And he doesn't have like anything to help him. So he starts walking past me, and then I lean back to let him go past me, and like my knee buckles a little bit, and I fall down and just sort of slide down a couple of the steps. And the worst thing about it is, I'd rather suffer from severe pain than have hundreds of people looking at me saying, "Oh, are you okay?" And I'd rather it be hurt and just like vanish than and I'd happily like sit there in agony for the rest of the game than people look at me and start like either laughing or saying like, "Who's that fatty who just fell on the floor?" Or someone saying, "Are you okay?" Because I want to seem like, yeah, I'm a fella, mate. That didn't hurt me at all. Do you know what I mean? It was a complete embarrassment. But just going back to Laura there, I hope hers wasn't a traumatic incident where you've got people around you, because that's that is more of a strain to me than actually hurting myself.
Her leg just started bleeding. Like it looked like she'd been stabbed in the leg.
Really, I haven't seen it since.
I remember it. So she was at the pub after the game and she told us about it. It was very strange, like stigmata on a leg.
Really?
Yeah. Anyone had any run-ins with the?
How did that happen, Les? Can I just?
She doesn't know. I tell you what.
Her leg was just bleeding as she got off. She's obviously.
I tell you what. If I was in like a sort of life-threatening situation on the pitch, I wouldn't want to like have to depend on those St. John's fellas with the stretchers because they take so long. They just sort of hover like vultures waiting for something to happen, and then if they have to go on, they take forever to get on.
Watch the match on a free, aren't they? That's like the only reason they do it for.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they must dread when some action they need to get into? They must absolutely.
I don't know. It's one of them, isn't it? It's are you like made up because it's like, yes, I've something's happening. That's what I'm here for. Or is it like I didn't really want anything to happen? Like Keith said, I just want to watch the game, get a freebie.
Yeah, it's definitely that. I think that's why most stewards do it as well.
Yeah,
like stewards have got a free season ticket, haven't they? That's so. I not against stewards, because most of them are lovely, and you can chat to them. You've got like the same one every weekend wherever you sit. But that's an easy day's work, that isn't it? If you're a steward. Especially the ones who lie down on the side of the pitch at the end.
I was going to say, I think that's the thing I'd like least. Again, it's like paint me like one of your French girls, isn't it?
No, that's it, yeah.
The very camp little way they lie down on the side of the pitch.
It's like the way Keith looks right now. Look at that, just looks like you're being painted there, you know, mate. Honestly, it's just a lovely picture of you there. Lovely sunset as well, right into you. The lighting's perfect.
Liam's asked, would the punters be slightly less angry at our bad start if we were wearing decent priced, good quality kits by a real mate? Yes.
No.
I would be, because I was used to being shit in the 90s, but we looked good.
No,
I don't know, because
Everton fans, nothing would make Everton fans less angry. This is a Pandora's box. We could be top of the league by 10 points after 2 games, and people would still be kicking off about something. We just love to kick off.
Yeah, it's great.
Speaking of which, the Denby have asked. Paul, I'll come to you on this one first. How many times have you watched the Bournemouth game back?
Paul looks like he's watching it right now.
He does, and he's gone. That's so. There you go.
He's had enough.
That's what Bournemouth does to people.
I think
So
you're the same
obviously
as me, Keith, aren't you? I haven't watched it back and I still haven't seen the third goal.
I haven't seen the third goal because I wasn't there. I was watching on a incredibly legal method of watching 3 p.m. kickoffs, of course. And soon as the first went in, I knew they were getting a point. Soon as the second went in, telly went off. I'm taking the dog for a walk.
Yeah,
that's when we went because we thought at best this is going to be a draw.
The first I knew that they'd actually won was I got outside. I was walking the dog down to the park. I opened Twitter and Paddy Boylan had tweeted something like, "Oh my god!" And
that was it.
That was it. That was it for me.
That's Paddy Boylan losing his professionalism there, isn't it?
I was like, "Yep, just switch my phone off as well. Just let's go full media blackout at this point."
Yeah.
On a similar vein, I still haven't seen the last 3 Watford goals from the 5-2 game.
Really?
I got off as soon as their equaliser went in. I got off because I knew what was coming. And I was walking down Bullen's Road and heard them score the third. And I was back in at the time. This was pre Denby Castle. I was back in Rigby's before full time.
Wow.
So you walked into Sky Sports News on or something saying it was 5-2.
Oh no, check. I was checking as I was going, but that was so. I've not seen. I've still not seen Divock Origi's goal at Anfield.
Lucky man, you're a very lucky man.
You've never seen it?
Never seen it.
Don't bother.
Because I was watching on a stream and the stream was behind, and somebody in the group chat put, for fuck's sake, and I was right. Switch it off. I'm off. Yeah. I've never seen it.
Do you know what? I reckon you've kept a good couple of years on your life there by not seeing any of those.
Probably.
Yeah, I reckon you have. Dave, have you watched any of it back?
Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly. Because similar to Keith, the BBC provides you particular devices that you can watch games on for working reasons. When days you're off are acceptable, apparently.
Yeah.
I was
That's
able to
also
watch
how I watch it. I am a BBC employee. Keith Tomlin, Reuters News.
So I obviously seen it, and then I fell asleep. I'm not joking. I fell asleep on about 70 minutes. Watching, lying on the couch.
Sean Dyche.
Yeah, I was lying on the couch watching it on this very laptop I'm using right now. Obviously it's in HD and all that, the access I have, and I fell asleep on it because I turned it down. Fell asleep by complete mistake, and then woke up like 20 minutes later, and I thought it had frozen when we were 2-0 up. So I thought, I didn't check my phone or nothing. I was like, it just looked like we're easing away, no issues whatsoever going to happen.
Yeah.
If they score a goal, just see it out. Just everyone get behind the ball, knock it about, clear it, whatever. And then when I put the telly on, it was on Final Score on the BBC, of course. And a really good friend of mine, Betty Glover, was covering it for them, and she said, "I'm astonished by what's happened here in the last 5 minutes." I got to some park, I looked in, and when it said 3-2, looked at my phone, I had a couple of messages off her saying, "Can you believe this is happening?" I was like, "What?" And then when I seen it, I was like, "Oh my word, what's going on?" But at the end of it, like every game that you watch live, it gives you the highlights of it. Showed me the goals, which immediately when I saw them, I was still quite drowsy after waking up. They would, like, in my mind, all 3 of the goals were almost identical, apart from one was a couple with a header and the other one was volleyed or half volleyed on the back post. And then sadly, I watched it on Match of the Day as well to make myself even more angry. I mean, it made me feel sick more than it did angry. And then the thing that really made me even more angry was Sean Dyche's post-match discussions, because the man is absolutely dreadful at any media-related things that he has to go through as a manager. I think he's absolutely woeful at that, and sadly, his managerial tenure at Everton feels like it's exactly the same, at which he talks about when he's doing his press conferences.
Well, just on that point, we'll go on to one more from Laura. What's the most pointless statement you've ever made? I think that's to do with Sean Dyson is watching the game 47 times. I could be wrong.
Statement that you made ourselves.
Yeah, I think mine is like every night when the cat goes out to tell him to be careful.
Is that in relation to what Donald Trump said?
Oh, well, we'll come to that later as well.
Yeah.
You know what? We can answer that one now as well, actually. So Mike asked, could you kidnap a goose or geese?
What?
Yes, but only if I had a lamppost and a roll of cling film.
There you go. That's the only way to do it, isn't it?
But how many of them could you fit on it, though, Keith?
Well, you only have to do one, and then you've answered the question.
Yeah.
It's about quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
Although, Dave, are you thinking of using it as bait for more? So we make things along to help them out.
Yeah,
wow,
help all the cats out by ours. Just give them something that they can all gather around, you know what I mean? Then I can bring all of them in and feed them properly. But anyway, saying things, yeah, I'm atrocious at saying ridiculous things, which socially have got me into being an idiot that people don't actually reply to or speak to me ever again. Let alone people of the Blue Room. Not to specifically talk about people who've gone through that with. Yeah, I generally not say things before I've thought what they are, but had an intention of saying them in a much different way than it's actually came out. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at that, which is sort of ironic because I've made near 2 decades of doing some sort of broadcasting or production, where you should speak quite comfortably and feel safe to be able to say certain things. But as a person, hopefully, I do struggle at times not to sound like a dickhead.
I think sometimes, Dave, you're just like really honest, and you're just like because you've told us some stories on here, and it's like I'm like I probably wouldn't have said that, but
yeah, that's true. I've probably done it already. That the mailbag sort of it's where I'm a home for stuff like that. Really, it feels like I can vent.
It is a safe space for that.
Mailbag is a safe space.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Right, I need to go to these from a couple of weeks back. So Alex asked, if you could know about only one thing that happens in the future, what would it be?
Do Everton win a trophy in my lifetime, or should I just knock it on the head now?
Oh God, yeah, that's a great answer. Yeah.
Would you fuck them off if that's actually true?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'd say I don't care if it sounds glory hunty or not. What's the point? Otherwise, I'd fuck them off and I'd just do the pub on Saturdays instead.
Yeah, it would certainly alter the way you looked at it, wouldn't it? At least.
Yeah, 100%. If you knew that it was an ultimately futile effort that was going to cost you tens of thousands of pounds across the rest of your lifetime, would you not put that to better use, like therapy?
Yeah, I would certainly give up the cup matches anyway.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good point that you made there, Keith, because I'm sure you get a lot of people like who just think they're better Blues than others who would say, no, I'm going as far as they go. I'm always with Everton and stuff like that. I think the answer you gave there is perfectly reasonable because what are we in it for? Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, you go to football and you see a belter goal being scored and all that, but the purpose of that is to get somewhere further in the game and further in the result, therefore to win something. So
brief fleeting moments of euphoria are replaced by crushing Evertonness afterwards. I don't go to Everton now for the football. I go for to spend time with my mates on the weekend. That's literally it.
Yeah,
I agree with that personally because I'd spent I sound like a real sad case here. I don't go out that often unless it's with my missus. Out and about general life that most people have. The game itself is much more about seeing you guys on a Saturday night at the Denby and stuff, seeing everybody socially, people that I like and whatnot. That's the Everton side of it, much more than the football side of it, I think. doing this right now, doing even the post-match thing, which is our sort of main side of things with the football.
Yeah.
Immediate reaction from the game ourselves, which I think the main talking points from that is brilliant for people to listen to because it's like because it's so instant. You put your thoughts out. You're broadcasting your thoughts straight away when you think afterwards. When I see something on the game after it that I've only seen once, I start thinking, oh, I was a bit wrong there. Do you know what I mean? And I love all that side of it. That's what I like about it the most. But
that's our therapy, though, isn't it?
sadly,
That's our equivalent of screaming into a cushion or yelling into the void or however you want to look at it. 40 minutes.
But it's also, but Keith, it's like our most listened to show is the post match for the instant reaction. Which I have to say, since I've seen you did a phenomenal job presenting it a couple of weeks ago, mate. I was thrilled with that. I know you might not be used to getting
I was juggling kittens at that point. I was just
that was a fantastic effort, and me and Matt were delighted that sometimes if me and him can't do it, you're absolutely right there first in the queue to have a go at it, mate.
I've opened Pandora's box again here, haven't I?
Well, yeah, in a good way, though, mate. In a good way. You're opening it for a bit of nice porn rather than
maybe I'll get promoted then from sideshow clown.
You could do. That's the aim.
Do you know what's funny? Just to go off on a bit of a tangent, I did look at, and very years ago, the last time I looked at it, the replies you get on podcasts on Apple.
Yeah,
it shows you can put your rating on it and all that, and you certain comments on it. Some of them are hilarious. Some of them are really good. Like keep Rob Vera, get rid of everybody else. That Scottish fella knows what it is, but everyone else needs to fuck off. Stuff, mate. Honestly, there's
Viva Rob Vera.
So many of them are brilliant. If you've got like my previous emotional state in life, reading that, I'd be like, yeah, I'm never doing this again. But now, the other side of things, when you look at stuff and you're not asked about it, it's hilarious. It's really funny.
Thankfully, the YouTube comments aren't quite the Wild West yet, but we'll get there, I'm sure.
Well, YouTube's comments are like the debate, aren't they? The YouTube stuff is like a debate amongst the
it's good. It's a nice little community there now. Yeah. Right, we've got 7 minutes. So we got one from Sam from a couple of weeks back, and then a couple from Maggie, and then
I've got the theme song ready.
Cracking. Right. So Sam's question is, what would you cook if you were on MasterChef?
Oh.
No. Should have left this at the start.
Oh, see, now my problem with that is anything I cook, I don't cook things that like get done quickly. I like slow cooking things. I like things that you have to put a bit of time and effort into. Like I know it's a basic staple, but if I do a spag bol, that ragu is not bored. They get fed up with me. I probably just whack a toasty down for them.
Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah.
I do make a belt of toasty though.
Do you reckon Greg Wallace would be happy with it?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's lots of cured meat on there.
Oh, cracking! Run us through this toasty then quickly.
So, Warburton's orange, obviously. Yeah. You go with a nice sharp cheddar and either a mozzarella or like a provolone. So you've got one on the top, one on the bottom, and in the middle you've got like so you got to have chorizo slices, some form of salami, chuck some pepperami in there, and jamon iberica is the pinnacle. Fuck your serranos, Parma hams. They do not touch jamon iberico.
Was that?
You can tell I've just been to Spain, can't you? Oh yeah.
Those fellas know what to do. Those fellas know what to do.
That's the stuff that comes off. You know, the big leg that you just shave it off. I'm trying to convince her to let me get one for the kitchen, and she's having none of it.
Would be good though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
I'd be sneaking down in the night just to shave some ham off and eat it.
Yeah,
100%. I reckon mine would be some dessert with a sugar twirl because that's what everyone does and it looks dead fancy. I don't know. Dave?
Mine would be sort of. I've started loving it now as well. Me wife's sister works at Maggie Foods in town, and the ramens that they do there, I just completely fell in love with them. But I think they're better than Wagamama's as well, who everybody sort of started raving up. So mine would be sort of a broth with noodles in it. I'd put in a load of different meats. You mentioned chorizo there, Keith. I've never done that before, but I'm starting to think that I'd put that into it. It'd be really, really nice with it.
Chorizo works with anything.
Yeah, and it's outstanding as well. It is.
Apart from salad cream.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll give you that one as much as I'd have salad cream with anything. But like a quite a spicy broth that I'd make it into anything that's sort of like quite isn't quite solid sort of food. You know what I mean? Something that you can mix it into.
So you're not lashing it in the blender again, are you?
No, no. Noodles. I started really liking noodles, which is a healthy thing, really, isn't it? Like
Dave, you know what you need to do? Get to Home Bargain and get the Coca noodles.
Are they nice, are they?
I think it's 75, about £1 for 3, I think, or something stupid.
Is it?
Oh, they're incredible.
Well,
and you can stick your boiled egg in, your meat, your veggies. Belter.
Well, speaking of noodles, this afternoon I had a pot noodle, and there's a chili one that they've just brought out, and I thought, oh, I don't like the sound of that. Normally stick to a green one, maybe a curry one. I don't go as far as the Bombay ones, the black ones. I'm not interested. This chili one come out, and I thought, oh, I'll dip my toe into this, put it out there. But I normally,
Probably better with a fork, right?
Hang on. You know the way there's the line you're meant to put the water into when you've boiled the kettle. I don't go near that line. I like to keep it as low as possible. So I like. This is going to sound really bad, but when you open the lid, the top of a pot noodle, I like dip my finger in, so you get a lot of the dust. Do you know what I mean? I love the dust. I like the dust as it is better than when it's actually made properly. Look at Keith's face.
Anyway, noodle dust, lad, there you go.
Yeah, well, that's it. I'd rather get 2 pot noodles and just get all the dust out of one and put it into the other. Do you know what I mean? It's scandalous stuff. But just on this chili one, it's a bit of a game changer. I really, really liked it. It's not spicy either. It's just really, really nice. Again, I love it when it's lovely and thick. So I'll stir it for ages. Don't want, if I could help it, I wouldn't have water in it at all. But obviously you need it, don't you, to soften the noodles. But it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. And I'd recommend people go and have a go with that. Right. I know everything stuff like that. They've started putting out new flavors of everything, haven't they, these days? Rather than the original. So like there was, you get the beef one, you get the chicken and mushroom one. I think the only 2 you could ever get originally with pot noodles. But they have about 10 different types now.
No one had the beef one. No one ever had the beef pot noodle, I'm sure.
Again, it's a strong beef. It's a strong sort of beefy, Marmite type of level. But yeah, I mean, chicken and mushroom, you can't really beat it. It's the bog standard pot noodle, but these ones, mate, really give it a go. Give it a go. I wasn't optimistic when I first had it, but yeah, it's up in my rank.
Get on the Coke. Get down to Home Bargain. Get the Coke noodles, honestly.
Yeah, I'll have a bit of that action as well. So yeah, noodles. Pretty obsessed with noodles.
Sound. We're going to move on quickly to Maggie now.
You'll love it.
So,
I love to see Les just come in from one side, just going like that.
So going from the beef pot noodle to the gammon prime minister, Maggie's asked, how would you personally cope with having to sit next to Keir Starmer on a long-haul flight? My immediate thought was that scene in Aeroplane where they're queuing up to crack that woman.
Yeah.
What, off Airplane?
Yeah.
Yeah, what a film that is. Yeah, there are multiple scenes in that film that you'd like him to be next to you. Do you know what I mean? There's so many different things that happen in it as well, isn't there? So some stuff that you can't really explain. Could they sound really, really bad and, quite illegal, really, don't they? But I would personally go and sit in the toilet, which I struggle, the size I am, struggle to fit in. So, it's difficult. We went to get married in Las Vegas, so it's like 11-hour flight. I was dreading going to the toilet. So I dreaded it so much. Because, the little thing you slide open and all that.
Yeah.
I'd managed to probably need a little bit of lube to get in, if it get any bigger. But I just slid into it slightly. I was in there, obviously 6'4" tall, so I'm like cramped inside like that, trying to have a piss. So I literally had to sit down to have a piss because it's that not cramped.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I endorse that, especially on transport.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. And do you know what? Just going off on a tangent there about toilets on planes, it's inevitable that it's going to be clean because of what it takes out of it. It just like sucks it out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So there can't be anything bad in there. It has to be clean. There's no way you could leave that dirty even if you wanted to. So I'd get into the toilets in a plane and avoid me going to see the bloke.
Yeah, that'd be preferable. Keith?
I'd probably report him to one of the stewardesses and say that he started drinking his own duty free or his phone's not in flight mode.
Oh yeah.
Or
just keep grasping him on stuff.
I'd try and get the seat in front of him and just recline the whole way.
Yeah, that's the secret thing no one complains about, but thinks that the person in front's an absolute twat.
Oh, awful. And a bit of a short one, Maggie's roundup this week. Maggie will come back to the other questions next week, and anyone else who missed off, will come back next week.
She'll be livid.
Oh, I know she will. But yeah, time's been against me tonight. So, Dave, this is one particularly for you. When will there be a mailbag done live from outside that chippy Dave is always banging on about, so we can see the real-time reactions? I think this needs to happen.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do it. We're going to do. We're going to do the Blue Room Adventures, aren't we? As an episode. The panel go to George Gerrys and try a kebab. Slightly
hampered by the fact that the Aintree pub, which is opposite, is now an MOT place. So having a bench outside is impossible.
I'm sure what we could do. Are they on Uber Eats?
Are they what?
Are they on Uber Eats or Just Eat or other food delivery services are available?
I'm not entirely sure, mate. I don't live in the promised land anymore down in Bootle, so I'm not sure.
Find out, because if we can get them to deliver to the Denby after the match, we can have George Gerrys on post-match.
That's a
if we
or
can
just
do
send
this,
somebody in an Uber to pick them up.
The only other way I think would be quite logic is I'm happy to pick up a load of kebabs and sauces and whatnot that I recommend to them, including the coleslaw that it provides itself.
Do that. Bring them down after the match.
Well, I was going to say I can get that post match if we're downstairs in the Denby and open it up for everybody, and then they can start coming up to me and thanking me for the fact that I've brought it from such an amazing chippy. I'm more than happy to do that. I will do that.
I'd say we'll scran it out on the wall outside and do it live on post match.
Yeah. The only thing with it is the fact that it's sort of into autumn now. Is that if you go back a month or so, I'd love this, especially when the season starts. It always feels like the weather's really nice when the season starts. But another alternative is I've mentioned them that many times. I'm willing to go in there and say, listen, we put this out to thousands of people here.
I think,
can we come into your kitchen or whatever and just do our podcast? And then, we'll take a touch of each food and, make it like something where we'd like to judge your food. And I'd say to them, look, it's all win for everybody here, because anybody who says that it's not nice or less than a 10, I will physically remove them from the ground. So, sounds like, it's a winner for everyone.
It is. I'm going with then post-match Palace, reporting on Everton's first win of the season, and we all scran George Gerrys.
Excellent.
Let's do that. It's on. Right. That is all we've got time for. Again, I'm sorry to anyone who questions they didn't get round to. We got loads in the savvy, but I will do them next time. Thanks to Dave. Thanks to Keith. Thanks to Paul as well, who disappeared because apparently his Mac didn't like the StreamYard app. I don't know.
He's gone straight to George Gerrys, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's still thinking about Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think so. That's what finished him off, wasn't it? It broke the laptop. But yeah, that's been it for this week's mailbag. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. Up the toffees.